What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be going over location targeting and everything you need to know about getting started with location targeting, all the different types of locations you can target, and some different best practices to keep in mind. So here are some of the different things I'm going to go through throughout this video. So number one is going to be the different types of locations that you can target. So when we come into our Google Ads account, and let's say we go to advanced search here. So when you're searching for something to target, I like clicking on advanced search because it pulls up this box right here. So when you click to choose some of these different locations you can target, if you enter any city, so let's just say I enter Boston here, you're going to get a ton of different options. So you have city, you have Nielsen DMA regions. These are designated market areas. We have the United Kingdom, so a separate city, a university, an airport. If we come down here, you can target the entire state of Massachusetts, the entire country, obviously, of United States. We have postal code, we have neighborhood, and another postal code. So just typing in Boston, you get all of these different options. So to understand some of the different ways that you can actually target your ads, here are some of the different location targeting options you get. So you could target countries, obviously, and then states, provinces. You could target counties, Nielsen DMA regions, cities. You can use radius targeting, which I'll show you, congressional districts, zip codes, airports, universities, and neighborhoods. So I'm not going to go through neighborhoods as much in this video, but some of these other ones I'll go through really quickly. So coming back over here, some of the different things we're targeting. I'm also going to go over location options right now as well. So let's come back over here. We're in advanced search. So when you're choosing the locations to target, you can either search here or just click on advanced search and it's going to pull up this box. So once we're within this box, some of the cool things that we can target. So we're looking at Connecticut right here. So let's just say I do University of Connecticut. Okay, so you can see University of Connecticut, 13,000 reach, so not a huge reach, but when you target it, it's literally targeting where the university is located in Connecticut. So if we scroll out, you're going to see it's a very tiny area, but this is where the university is located. So essentially you're targeting people who are on campus. So that's how university targeting works. You can also target airports. So let's just say I want to target people who are currently at the Los Angeles airport. So we start typing in Los Angeles, you see Los Angeles International Airport. You could also target the county, the Nielsen DMA region, the city. You're going to see the reach. So generally you use Nielsen DMA regions to get the entire area. So this would be considered the entire Los Angeles market. So it's a much larger area than just the city. So let's come over here and let's first target the airport. So if I click to target the airport, you can see it's literally targeting anybody who they think is driving to the airport, sitting at the airport waiting for their flight, people who work at the airport. So they give us a total reach of 459,000. So it's a huge reach of people at the Los Angeles International Airport. So if you have a timely offer for people who are at that airport or any other airport, this is one way that you can actually target your ads to different locations. Now let's take a quick look at the difference between targeting a city versus a Nielsen DMA region. So these are just some example things I targeted earlier. So you could also exclude locations. So you saw that at the bottom. I'll go through that a little bit later. But let's just say we target Los Angeles and we choose the city. So when you choose the city, you see it's 28.9 million, still a huge area. But if we scroll out, you're going to see not the largest area. So it's still a massive area, a huge reach. But if we do Los Angeles and we do the actual market itself, so the Nielsen DMA region, click on target, you can see it's much larger. So this would encompass the entire Los Angeles market. And if you do San Diego, for example, they're going to have one as well. So San Diego, Nielsen DMA region, target, you'll see they kind of connect with each other. So all of these are all different Nielsen DMA regions that you can target. And keep in mind, I've never run into a problem where I'm not able to actually target a location. So I'm going to go over more of the United States in this specific video because that's where I target more advertisements. But you can target anywhere in the world. So if you come over here to South America, let's say we type in Peru. So you can target the country of Peru. Click on target. You can also come into some of these different countries and find some of these different cities that you want to target. So let's say you want to target Lima. So we come over here, we type it in, and you're going to see Lima province, Peru. So Lima region, Peru. So we could target either of these here. So if we click on target, you're going to see that's going to put a target around there. Now, once you're targeting an entire country, targeting a smaller place within that country doesn't really change anything as far as your targeting. But what you could do is you can say, I want to target the entire country of Peru. And then we can also add an excluded location. So I want to target the entire country except for these places where I exclude. So if we scroll out, the exclusion will take precedence over where you're targeting. So if you have a positive target and then a negative target within it, your ads will not show in that negative target. So let's click on cancel. These are some of the different ways to target. Again, there's no limit to what you can target with Google Ads. You can put your ads literally anywhere. So if we come here to United States, you can target different cities, different states, different counties, different Nielsen DMA regions. Wherever your customers are located, that's where you can target. So we'll get rid of all of these for right now. And the next thing I want to go over is, if we come back here, is location options. So this is going to be pretty quick, but it's a very important part of your location targeting. When you set your location, so I have my targeted locations and my excluded locations here, and these are just examples. I just had mine as United States and Canada, but if we come to location options, the default option that they are going to recommend to you, that I do not recommend to you, is presence or interest. Presence means people in or regularly in your targeted locations. Search interests are people searching for your targeted locations. So the biggest difference here, let's use presence, and let's just say I'm present right now in Boston, Massachusetts, which I'm not, but let's just say I am. Then that would be considered presence for me. I'm in or regularly in that targeted location because Google Ads is tracking my device and they know his device right now is in Boston. He's signed into his Google account. He's currently in the city of Boston, so we're going to target ads to him. Now, let's just say, for example, I'm located completely across the country. I'm in California, and I start looking up all sorts of pages about Boston. So I'm booking a Boston trip in 6 months. Okay, so what I start doing is I start looking up all sorts of things about Boston. What Google is going to do is they're going to say, okay, they have a search interest for Boston. So there's going to be certain times where I may search specific keywords where I may get ads that are more geared towards Boston because Google Ads considers that a search interest location for me. So when it comes to location options, what I prefer to do is target presence and target people who are in or regularly in my targeted locations, and exclude, same thing. I just use presence, people in your excluded locations. So I don't really like the idea of search interest. I get why Google Ads does it, because if somebody, let's just say somebody constantly commutes from one city to another and they go across state borders, they may say, okay, this person is in or regularly in that targeted location. Now, if that person starts researching some different cities that they travel to throughout their entire, like while they're working, so let's just say I travel to 5 different cities because there's 5 different offices. Let's say one of them's Los Angeles. So before I go on my Los Angeles trip, I like to research restaurants, things to do, things like that. I'm going to start being put as if I'm in Los Angeles, even though Google knows that I'm not. So when you're targeting your locations, the quickest way to look at this is I prefer to choose presence because that means people are most likely going to be in my location. I choose to exclude presence because that means if people are in a location I want to exclude, I don't want them to see my ads. So that's location options. I would highly recommend changing your location to presence after you launch your campaign. Now that's going to bring us to number 3, add locations in bulk. This is truthfully a feature I don't use all that often because it can be a little bit difficult to manage, but let's just say you're adding a ton of locations in bulk, and let's use locations in a specific state. So let's just take Pennsylvania here. So we'll come into Pennsylvania and we'll pick out a few different cities that they're showing here. So let's say I do Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, we'll do Allentown, Harrisburg, York, and Lancaster. So I want to add these different locations. You want to make sure you spell all of your locations correctly. So we have our different locations here. So what I do is I do search, and what they're going to do is they're going to pull up all these different locations. Now the one issue is if some of these have a Nielsen DMA region, then they're going to target the Nielsen DMA region. So it's not the end of the world, but if you're trying to target just specific cities, you may have to go back and do it manually. But what you can do is add a bunch of locations in bulk. So if there's a bunch of cities that you have locations for your specific business at, or certain places where you ship to, whatever it may be, maybe certain service areas, then what you can do is you can enter all of those cities here. But keep in mind, it may end up pulling in the Nielsen DMA region. So if you're, for example, a plumber who goes to some of these different cities, and maybe you have a few different offices in different cities, you may just serve kind of a smaller area around Pittsburgh, And that's where radius targeting can come in handy. So what can make it a lot easier is, rather than adding the entire Nielsen DMA region, is just come up to the top, choose radius. Let's say I will go 40 miles around the Pittsburgh area. All you need to do is choose radius, choose the location. I like to just come right into pin mode and just pin right on top of Pittsburgh. So now we're targeting 40 miles around Pittsburgh. This is a great way to target because you have an exact border for the places that you're going to go to. So if you're willing to drive 60 miles around an area, then choose 60. And let's say we have 60 miles. I serve 60 miles around Washington, D.C., so we'll choose Washington, D.C. here. So that's where I'm willing to travel to meet potential clients, customers, whatever it may be. So that's radius targeting. Very easy to do radius targeting. If we scroll out, you can see the different radius targeting that we have here. This is a great option if you have specific service areas, locations, if you're trying to target specific airports and you just want to put a huge radius around that airport. That's one option that you have. So coming back over here, number 4 is radius targeting. And truthfully, it's a little bit easier to do locations in bulk with radius targeting sometimes, because you could just set a mile marker around whatever location you want to target. So that's going to bring us to number 5. And number 5 is where we're going to actually look at where our ads were shown. So we have all of our ads properly targeted. Now what we're trying to do is figure out, where was our campaign actually showing ads to. So we're in our Farmhouse Goals search campaign right now. And when we scroll down here to the left-hand side, sometimes this is going to be show less. You want to click on show more if it's not showing it. And this is where you want to click on locations. So when we click on locations, now I don't have a per store report because there's no actual stores for my specific Google Ads account. So I don't have an actual per store report. But if we do look at locations, see right now it's just showing the 2 targeted locations I had. My targeted location was United States for this campaign beforehand. So it was just set to United States. I just set these for the video. So if you do have separate location targets like this, then what it's going to do is it's going to report on the location separately. So any of the clicks, impressions, cost, conversions that were driven from these targeted locations, you're going to get some of the different statistics coming in here, and you can set manual bid adjustments. Now where I'm going to go right now is seeing match location. So this is where our ads were actually shown. So it's going to pull in United States. So we click on United States and we can narrow it down. So you can see all these different options as far as targeting, boroughs, municipalities. I don't really ever target by those, districts. But what I could do is, let's just say, let's look at some of the states where my ads were shown. So Pennsylvania, my largest state in terms of impression, Texas, Ohio, New York, North Carolina, Florida. A lot of times what you're going to realize is a lot of these are just matched based on total population. Now I don't have California in here, which is kind of surprising, but you can see all of these different states, and I don't have any bid adjustments set for specific states here. But if, for example, you wanted to make sure that your ads are showing in a specific state, you can add that as a location target. And then when you have your targeted locations, that's where you can set your bid adjustments. So coming back over to match locations, you can see I can break down Pennsylvania further and look at the cities specific to Pennsylvania. So using our Pennsylvania example from before, you can see some of these large cities and where I'm driving the most impressions and clicks, where I'm driving conversions. Now, this really isn't a large enough campaign to have too much data about all these different locations. But if you are running a massive campaign and you have a client who is really interested in some of this, it can be a good report to pull and show them, here are some of the different states, markets where our ads are being shown the most. So hopefully that all makes sense. And then what you could potentially do is, when you're looking at some of these different match locations, is if one location is underperforming, you can always set it as a negative or excluded location. Just go right back into your settings. If I want to exclude Pittsburgh, we go right into our settings for our campaign, and we come down to our location targeting, and we can either just enter the location right here, just do Pittsburgh and see what comes up. And let's just say we want to exclude the city of Pittsburgh. So just choose exclude here. You could also just choose target. You could choose nearby. So if we choose nearby, it's going to pull some of these different locations that are close to wherever we're targeting or excluding. So for congressional districts, that's where you can find some of these different congressional districts. If you're looking for something specific, just go to advanced search here and search for any location. They'll pull up airports, universities, anything like that for some of the different locations you can target. Now, location groups, this is an option. They pull directly from your business profile. So if we come back over here to Google Ads, we go to Tools and Settings, and we come down here to shared library and we go to location groups, it will pull in any of the location that you have of your business locations. So these are pulled directly from your Google business profile. So if you have these locations set in your business profile, then your location groups will show here, and you can actually use them as location assets, which were formerly known as location ad extensions. So you can show that location on your search ads. So one other option you have, if you do have physical business locations and you have a business profile with your physical business locations. Now coming back over here to end this video, the last thing I want to go through is, let's just say you have for your campaign your location settings, and let's say you're targeting 50 different locations. You create a new campaign and you need to enter those 50 different locations again. Now the easiest way that I have found to do that is by using Google Ads Editor. So if you don't use Google Ads Editor, it's a software that allows you to manage and work on your Google Ads campaigns, and you can make a ton of different changes to your campaigns and then publish them directly to Google Ads. You can always pull in your recent changes, so anything you do within Google Ads is all up to date in Google Ads Editor. So it's a great way to add keywords, create advertisements, manage your assets. So there's a lot of different things that you can do in Google Ads Editor. But let's just say I have my list of locations that I'm targeting. I obviously only have 2 right here, and I want to apply them to a separate campaign. So over on the left-hand side under Keywords and Targeting, you want to click on your campaign first, go to Keywords and Targeting, and go to Locations. And then what you can do is just copy the locations that you're targeting, and let's say I want to apply it to this campaign right here. Come into your location targeting here and just paste them. And all you need to do is post those changes. So click on Post, post them to all campaigns. So now you'll have your new location set here, and you can also do negative locations as well. So right here are our locations that we're targeting, and here are the locations that we're excluding. So you would just do the same thing, copy your excluded location, come right back over here, make sure you go into the negative locations and paste that there as well, post your changes, and now you'll have all of your targeted locations across different campaigns, and it took us all of about a minute to do. So if you have any questions about location targeting, there's a ton of different options in here. Now the last and final thing is Google Ads says, location targeting is based on a variety of signals, including users' settings, devices, and behavior on our platform, and is Google's best effort to serve ads to users who meet your location settings. Because these signals vary, 100% accuracy is not guaranteed in every situation. So if you're targeting a specific county, Google Ads does their absolute best using people's settings, devices, behavior to understand where they're located. If they don't have a perfect location and they haven't updated the location yet, there is a chance your ads show outside of the locations where you're targeting. But for the most part, you're going to be targeting people who have a presence in your location. So if you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.